Hello and welcome to Web Server Workshop. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to install the Apache package on Ubuntu. I will be using the SSH command from my Mac to log in, but the Windows SSH tool will be pretty much the same thing. Remember that you need to include your username before the @ symbol and the IP address or DNS name after the @ symbol. When working on a web server, I like to have more than one window open. I find that having a terminal where we are working, a terminal to look around at other folders, and a terminal where I can monitor logs is helpful. Before I get started on the actual Apache package, let me show you the network configuration that I'm using. The default installation for Ubuntu uses DHCP for the addressing, but I've changed this to be a fixed address so I always know where it is on my network. The Ubuntu 24 system is using NetPlan to deal with the network configuration. The configuration file provided in the etc netplan folder can be easily modified to hold a static IP address. Although you can have multiple files in here, just modifying the original one will be fine. Since most of these commands are restricted to administrators, you will need to put a sudo in front of every command. My NetPlan configuration file has been changed to a static IP address with 192.168.68.20. I also have an appropriate gateway, and for now, I'm using the Google public DNS server. Because I will be doing a lot of configuration on my server, I use the sudo-i command to run as root for all commands. I suppose that some people will get angry at me for doing this, but hey, you know what? This is my server. The hashtag here indicates that we are the super user. In order to configure the IP addresses, you're going to need to know the names of the network interfaces. The best way to find the names of the interfaces is to use the IP link show command, which will show all the IP interfaces. You can also use the IP address show to find how the current configuration is set. If you do make a change to your IP configuration, you will need to run netplan apply. Like most things in Ubuntu, you will install them using the apt package manager. You'll find that there's actually two commands to do this. The first command, which we'll find online, is called apt-get. We of course will use the install option, and the package name is Apache 2. You will also find that people are using the apt command instead of apt-get. The apt command is newer and has been designed to run interactively, while the apt-get is really geared towards running from inside scripted languages. You will find a lot of websites suggesting apt-get because it's been around for a long time, and as such the AIs will probably even give you instructions based on it. My demonstration here skips the question where it is listing the packages and space requirements because I just ran this command a few minutes ago. After a few minutes, it looks like everything is finished. Now that the Apache package is installed, I will show you the two directories where we'll be spending most of our time in this video series. The first folder is in the etc folder where all the configuration files for the system are kept, and of course Apache is no different. We will not look at all the configuration files and folders in this video, but eventually I will have videos where I will cover everything. The place we are going to start is in the apache2.conf file. This is Apache's main configuration file that gets loaded when the server starts. Looking through the configuration file, the really interesting line is at the very bottom where it is including all of the files in the folder called Sites Enabled. Here we have one file called 000-default.conf. Those who work with Ubuntu will likely recognize the color of this file as being a symbolic link, and that is exactly what it is. The reason why I use VI is simply because I've been using Linux and Unix for a very, very long time, and as a result, I simply got used to it. Feel free to use Nano, Emacs, or anything else that you want. They're just text editors. The file is filled with a lot of comments. I don't dislike comments, but I think if we remove the comments, it makes it a lot easier to read. There is really only one important line in this configuration file that I want to look at in this video, and that is the document root, which indicates where the HTML files will be kept on our server. Let's go take a look now at the var www HTML folder. In this folder, we have one file called index.html. This file is provided by the apt package as a test. It is quite large, but let's look at how this file appears in a browser. Since we have a web server now running on our machine, we can just open a browser and type in the IP address to see the contents. This page is just provided as a placeholder by Ubuntu, and of course we're going to change it. Let me remove the existing file and create a new one from scratch. I will probably break a lot of rules from the world of HTML in these video series by ignoring things like doc type directives, and I'll leave out things like closing paragraph tags and so on, but it really isn't that important. We are more interested in the web server mechanics, not the HTML. Refreshing the page in the browser means that the browser will request the page again, and of course it will now show the new HTML that we just wrote. We can change the content again, write it back out to disk, and refresh the page, and voila, we have ourselves a web server where we can create and edit HTML pages. Sometimes it happens you just want to get rid of Apache. The command is just apt purge Apache 2, and this will remove everything that was installed. Just be aware that if you created some configuration files in the etc Apache 2 folder or added files in the var www folder, they will not be removed. I have seen people mess up their configuration file to the point where nothing works, and they tried uninstalling and reinstalling Apache. They still got nothing to work because they didn't actually remove their messed up configuration files. My recommendation is after you have purged a package, go and look and make sure that the configuration files are either removed or retained as you expect. If this video was helpful to you, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos. Thanks for watching.